Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, down here. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Amplify Show. I'm your host, Tyler Hudson. Last time we talked about how to be a better listener. Well, this time we're going to talk about organization skills and how those play into public speaking and communication. Now hold on a second. Let's stop and examine that first part. What just happened is what you'd call an introduction. An introduction is the first thing that the audience will hear from you. It includes many parts. First, it has to capture your audience's attention with some kind of opening statement that'll get them interested. With starting this video off by concluding, it threw you off balance a little bit, and it kept you interested to see where I was going to go from there. For an attention getter, you can use a quote, humor, you can ask your audience a question, or you can do anything to catch them off guard. As long as it's pertaining to your speech, of course. The intro also needs to give your listeners a reason to keep listening. Why should they care what you have to say? You need to make your audience aware that your speech pertains to their lives. You also need to establish your credibility as a speaker. For instance, this is the Amplify Show, whose goal is to educate you on the topic of public speaking and communication. Now, I've told you that I'm the host, telling you that I've done my research and I'm credible to speak on this subject. Finally, you need to include a thesis statement. This is essentially a list of topics that you're going to discuss in your speech. Now let's switch gears and talk about the body of the speech. By the way, we call that a transition statement. It lets your audience know when you're moving on to the next part. The body of your speech is where your main ideas come to shine. This is where you can get into the nitty-gritty details on your subject. Now, the speech police won't kick down your door at 3 in the morning, but you probably shouldn't have less than 2 and more than 5 main points in your speech. This keeps things concise and easy to explain. Too little, and your audience won't get the main idea, but too long, and your audience will get bored. It's important that when writing your speech, you decide how you want it organized. There are many different ways of organizing a speech, but I'm going to touch on some of the more popular forms. First, we have chronological, which means organizing your speech in terms of time. For instance, if I'm telling you who I am, I could tell you about who I was when I was younger, who I am now, and who I hope to be in the future. Next, we have topical. This means that each of my main points is its own topic or category. If I'm giving a speech on my favorite movies of all time, each movie would have their own paragraph. Even though they aren't inherently related, they connect to my overall point. Finally, there's also a way of organizing called problem solution. This means I can start my body paragraphs by telling you about a problem that needs solved. And then towards the end of my body paragraphs, I will tell you how you can solve this problem. We have come to the conclusion of this video, so let's talk about the conclusion. The main purpose of the conclusion is to go over your main points with your audience one more time. So if they've all been sleeping up until this point and missed all the details, at least they'll remember the very last thing you said, which is actually called the recency effect, and it's a real thing, look it up. With your conclusion, you can summarize, use a quote, and even call your audience to action. It's also important that you connect your conclusion back to your introduction. This way it makes the speech feel cohesive. So why is organization so important? Organizing your speech not only helps with clarity on your part, but it helps with audience understanding as well. If your speech is organized well, your audience is more likely to retain all the information that you present to them. Alright, I know that was a lot, so take it all in, take a breath. Alright, now while you're breathing, go down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Also, while you're down there, might as well hit that subscribe button. I'm Tyler Hudson, and this has been the Amplify Show. I'll see you next time.